My user tip number 5 is about WAM. Yes, WAM, weighted average mark. Other universities call it as a GPA, which is also known as a university grading system. This is a very sensitive topic and I want to be very cautious when I talk about WAM and give advice. Normally, sometimes I see students studying or use WAM as an excuse not to step outside their comfort zone. Bit of a different sort of situation when you're in university compared to high school, where in high school you just have to study, and that's all that actually count towards your ATA, your maybe entry to university by large. But at university and when you become an adult, it's slightly different. There are lots of other things that really makes you as an all-rounded person, and studying is only a small pie of that. There are 4 main reasons as to why students might really want to care about their WAM and raise their WAM up and study really hard at the university. Number 1, when your dream career or company sets a very high WAM standard. So in terms of business school, that could be like investment banking, trading, etc. If you want to end up in an investment bank or if you want to do trading sort of job, yes, they do set quite high WAM standards. So that's a reason why you might really want to study hard and get good WAM. Number 2, when you have conditional scholarship with certain WAM limits. So let's say you have a scholarship and they say if you want to keep this scholarship, you gotta have at least a credit WAM or distinction WAM. Yeah, you have to meet that. Of course, that's a good reason why you might want to keep yourself motivated to study. Number 3, when you plan on going to overseas universities for an exchange or maybe postgraduate, that sets a very high WAM threshold. For example, you might dream of going to Ivy League in the future. They have relatively higher WAM cutoffs, so that's another incentive for you to study hard and get good marks. Number 4, when you plan on pursuing honors or enroll into a subject that has high WAM threshold or maybe transfer into your dream course. For example, I know that if you want to do honors at business school at Sydney University, you must have 65 WAM for all subjects taken and minimum of 70 WAM for all subjects related to your major discipline. So I should have 65 overall WAM, minimum of 70 WAM for my majors. But in the discipline of finance though, because it's so competitive, at least 75 plus WAM is recommended by the faculty. So in these cases, you might want to try even harder and get better WAM to make yourself competitive when you apply for honors. Another example is when you want to transfer to, let's say, medicine or law, where it's more competitive than the other degrees, you might want to pull your WAM up a little bit more and make yourself competitive when you apply for transferring. But if you don't belong to any of these 4 reasons, simply there is no big incentive for you to study, and studying may not be your first priority. There might be other priorities or there might be other things that are more valuable to your degree. And you see how these tips start off with when you plan on something. So planning your degree and planning your future, your career must come before studying as a university student, because studying is now totally pretty much an option for you guys as long as you pass. So when I said do not use studying as an excuse to not step outside your comfort zone, I mean it by don't use studying to not really think about your future or your career. Like you might want to go out, find out what you really love, what you don't really like, what sort of job you want to have, what sort of career you want to have. But just because you can't be bothered doing that, don't just say, oh, I'm just going to study. Because studying actually gives you that false sense of security that you're doing something. But you graduate with a degree, but you don't know anyone, you haven't really applied anywhere, and you don't know where you want to be, and you end up maybe in a job that you realize that you don't really love. That is not a really pleasing scenario. So really think about your future first and why you need to study. Studying without a reason at university might not be a good plus eventually. So I'm not saying don't study, but I'm saying study with a purpose. I'll give you my example and share a little bit of my story why I wasn't so pressured with academics and WAM. I knew that I wanted to do HR. I was interested in HR related sort of consulting. Therefore, I talked to a lot of the employees and graduates who are working in that field and that industry, and I asked if honors were necessary and realized that in the work that I want to do, work related experience, transferable skills were more valued as long as I have credit plus WAM. So that is about 65 plus. After listening to that, and I thought about, okay, but I might want to do honors. So my WAM goal was 65 plus minimum. And if I could pull it up, maybe 70 to 75. And I can tell you that my first 3 years at university, I always achieved a mark that is between 65 and somewhere around 85. I wasn't too pressured to study a lot, and I wasn't so stressed just because I got credit, because I knew that that's what I needed and I wasn't really aiming for higher, but at the expense. I really tried hard and involved myself with a lot of extracurricular activities, societies, case competitions, internships, job experience, and so on. So I had a good balance and I'm very satisfied with where I am right now. My USU tip number 6 is about wisely using USU Rewards membership. USU is a not-for-profit entity that is affiliated with USyd, basically a home, a council of USyd. USU provides key programs, services, and facilities that enhance your campus life and those who may join and interact with University of Sydney. I will recommend students to purchase USU Rewards memberships around $40 per year, and the benefits that you get out of USU Reward membership are the following: 10% off food, drink, merchandise at USU outlets, and even at pharmacy you can get Panadol, Nurofen at a cheaper price, 10% off with our campus partners, 10% off locker hire, 30% off at special USU outlet sales, monthly freebies and giveaways, exclusive competitions and prizes, extra freebies and food deals at selected flagship events, 35% discount on hot drinks when you use your reusable cup, free extra coffee shots, free milk alternatives, soy, almond, coconut, and oat milk. Every 7th hot or iced drinks are free. Coffee happy hour at a new outlet each month. Regular coffee is only just for $2.50. And you can skip the queue at our famous food trucks if you're eligible. Why would you say no to that? These are some of the benefits that you could get as a USU Rewards member. But if you actually don't come to uni a lot, this might not be worth it. But for those who at least come maybe twice or 3 times a week, it is actually a worth it deal. And if you spend a lot of money at USyd buying food and eating out. So they were my 6 key tips and advice as a fossil of USyd, hoping that you won't go through as many trial and error I've made when I first started studying at Sydney University. If you've got more questions and if anything wasn't too clear, please feel free to pop them down in the comments below and maybe have a look at some of my USyd vlog videos in the meantime. Don't forget to subscribe and like to see more of these videos too, and I genuinely wish you have a fantastic and unforgettable experience at the University of Sydney. Thank you.